Hello there, welcome to News at 10 on Rajya Sabha television, your one stop for the day's biggest developing news stories as a fresh new week begins. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor and here are this morning's headlines. President says internet can bridge gap in education, launches 3 initiatives to raise a gross enrollment ratio in higher education. Political crisis in Nagaland. Former Chief Minister Zeliang stakes claim to form government. Writes to Governor claiming support of 41 of 59 MLAs. Another death in Assam floods. Toll now at 26. Prime Minister speaks to the Chief Minister, assures all central assistance. 19 killed in separate incidents of lightning in Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. Iraq declares victory against Islamic State in Mosul. Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi visits Mosul to congratulate armed forces. And Sania Mirza and her Belgian partner to play third round in women's doubles at Wimbledon. Top seeds in men's and women's section to compete in place for quarterfinals. President Pranab Mukherjee launched 3 programs to take education to the remotest corners of the country with the help of digital technology. The programs Swayam Prabha and National Academic Depository aims to raise the gross enrollment ratio in higher education from 24.5% to 30% by 2020. The President praised digital technology and added that it has offered an opportunity to close the divide between access and quality of education. He also added that the digital modes are cheaper and interactive, which can benefit students in remote areas of the country. The Swayam portals enables one to take courses offered by the best teachers from class 9 to post-graduation. The Swayam Prabha will telecast high-quality educational programs round the clock using GSAT-15 satellite, while the National Academic Depository would help in easy authentication of the credentials issued by the institutions.
Quality of teaching, learning process is the heart of higher education. We have seen huge differences in the quality of attainment levels in higher education between the urban and rural areas, between the states, and between the institutions within the states.
We will not only reach to each student and empower him more, we will achieve our ultimate goal of accessibility, quality, equity, affordability, and accountability through this technology revolution, and that is the aim.
On to some other news now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will hold a meeting of all chief secretaries together, probably for the first time. Now, the meeting is to fast-track all-round development of states by taking a cohesive approach. The PMO, in a statement, said that the meeting is being organized by the Niti Aayog to further the spirit of cooperative and competitive federalism. The statement further said that the chief secretaries, along with planning secretaries, finance secretaries, health secretaries, agriculture and industry secretaries, will attend the conference. Now, the focus of the meeting will be on best practices in social and economic sectors across states. Many other issues are also set to come up for discussion, which include a less cash economy, ranking on the basis of ease of doing business, direct benefit transfer, agriculture, health and nutrition, targeting Olympic medals, promotion of electric vehicles and leveraging e-marketplace by states. Now, textile traders in Ahmedabad will go on an indefinite strike from today to mount pressure on the government to roll back 5% GST on cloth. Now, traders in Surat are already on an indefinite strike for the last 1 week. Now, speaking on the new tax regime, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley said that GST is an attempt to progress towards an online transparent system of assessments to improve the compliance of taxpayers. Now, addressing a workshop on GST organized by the Chhattisgarh government in Raipur, he said that a GST will improve people's enthusiasm in compliance by minimizing interference and corruption in the system. Meanwhile, in Chennai, Union Minister Venkaiah Naidu claimed a massive support for it and accused the Congress of adopting double standards. He also assured that any doubts on the new taxation regime could be addressed, including discussing it in the GST Council.
पूरी दुनिया में इनडायरेक्ट टैक्सेस को रिग्रेसिव माना जाता है और रिग्रेसिव इसलिए माना जाता है कि ये इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स कभी गरीब और अमीर के बीच में भेदभाव नहीं करते। एक सोशल पॉलिसी टैक्सेशन की, जैसे मैंने कहा, प्रोग्रेसिव टैक्स की होती है कि अमीर से ज्यादा लो, गरीब से ना लो, मध्यम वर्ग से थोड़ा कम लो। लेकिन इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स में ऐसी गुंजाइश नहीं होती।
On to news from the northeast of the country, and a political crisis is playing out in Nagaland. Former Chief Minister Zeliang has staked a claim to form the government by ousting present Chief Minister Zeli Lizitsu. Now, in a letter to Governor P.B. Acharya, Zeliang claimed the support of 41 of the 59 MLAs in the State Assembly. He has also submitted a letter purportedly written by the MLAs supporting him to invite him to form the new Naga People's Front-led Democratic Alliance of Nagaland. Now, Zeliang, remember, had to step down in February following statewide protests against holding of polls to the urban local bodies with 33% reservation for women. Now, he claims that he has the support of 41 MLAs after a majority of the ruling NPF legislators levelled against Chief Minister Lizitsu. Now, Zeliang says that at a meeting of the legislature party of the NPF on the 4th of June, 34 party MLAs out of the total 47 supported him. He also claimed that 7 independents had also offered their support to him, taking the tally to 41 out of 59 legislatures. Now, the 34 NPF legislators who have extended their support to Zeliang have been camping at a resort in Karizanga in Assam, where they had held a meeting last evening. Now, amid these developments, Chief Minister Lizitsu dismissed 4 ministers and issued separate termination orders against 11 parliamentary secretaries as well as T.R. Zeliang, who was his financial advisor. Now, an update on the situation in Darjeeling, and the indefinite shutdown continues in the hills for the 26th consecutive day today. Now, violence erupted again in Hill district on Sunday, with the agitators setting ablaze a police camp, injuring 4 police personnel and attacking a local BDO office. The activists also held rallies at different areas with the bodies of those allegedly killed in the police firing. And the Gorkha Janmukti Morcha has claimed that 4 persons were killed in police firing after clashes broke out on Saturday. However, the police has denied the report of any firing. The Gorkha leaders have also turned down an offer of conditional talks by Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. The all-party meeting of the Hill parties scheduled to take place on 18th of July has now been advanced to 11th of July, that is tomorrow. Meanwhile, the state government has claimed that the foreign powers are behind the ongoing unrest in the hills, while the BJP claims that the situation deteriorated due to the attitude of the state government.
The situation in Darjeeling has escalated primarily due to the attitude of the West Bengal state government. The government should have initiated talks much earlier. Now, when the violence has already spread, now Mamata Banerjee is asking for talks. So she is responsible for the violence in the hills.
An amicable solution. It should not get out of control, and it should not lead to violence one after another, and we should find a solution. We cannot have such situation in the country, and it is a serious situation. I think all political parties must be taken into confidence.
राज्य सरकार की भी कुछ नीतियों की वजह से वहाँ आग भड़की। केंद्र सरकार, राज्य सरकार और गोरखा लैंड के लोग बैठ करके ही इस समस्या का कोई निदान निकाल सकते हैं।
Now, the Indigenous Peoples Front of Tripura has called for an indefinite blockade of the National Highway number 8 from today. The blockade aims to form a separate state for the Tripura Tribal Areas Autonomous District Council. The areas constitute 2/3 of the state's territory and is home to the tribals. Now, security has been tightened across the state so that no untoward incident can take place during the agitation. The state government has opposed the blockade call and has appealed to the IPFT to withdraw the agitation. Now, the flood situation in Assam deteriorated on Sunday, with one person losing his life while nearly 5 lakh people are hit across 15 districts of the state. With this, the total number of deaths in this year's flood-related cases has now gone up to 26, including 7 in Guwahati. Now, according to a report by the State Disaster Management Authority, 1 person died in the swirling flood waters in Karimganj district. Till Saturday, 3.83 lakh people were affected in the latest wave of floods across the state. The authorities are running 181 relief camps and distribution centers in 10 districts of the state. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Sunday spoke with the Chief Minister Sarbanand Sonowal and took stock of the prevailing situation in the state, besides assuring him of all the central help. During the telephonic conversation, the Prime Minister inquired about the measures that have been taken by the government to provide a succor to the marooned people, damage caused by the flood waters and status of relief and rescue operations. Meanwhile, at least 19 people have been killed in separate incidents of lightning strike in Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. Now, in Bihar, at least 16 people died and 2 others injured in incidents across 7 districts of the state, where a light rainfall occurred. Now, according to reports, 5 people died in Vaishali district, 3 each in Patna and Bhojpur, 2 in Saran and 1 each in Rohtas, Nalanda and Araria district. Now, the Bihar government has announced a compensation of 4 lakh rupees each to the kin of the deceased, while in Uttar Pradesh, 3 people were killed in Balyal district due to lightning. Several parts of the state received heavy rainfall. Water levels in major rivers have started rising, with Ghagra and Sharda flowing above the danger mark at some places. Now, the Met Department has issued a forecast of heavy rains for the next 24 hours as well. On to some other news. A former Indian ambassador to the US, Narendra Chandra, is no more. He died at a private hospital in Goa last night due to multiple organ failure. He was 82. Now, Chandra had served as the cabinet secretary from 1990 to 1992 and was the Indian ambassador to the United States from 1996 to 2001. He was conferred with the Padma Vibhushan, India's second highest civilian honor, in 2007. Now, Chandra's body would be flown to Delhi for the final rites. A very short break in here. Up next, we have all the international news. Stay with us.
Jade was popular during Mughal era, gained prominence during Akbar's rule in 15th and 16th century. It came all the way from Iran and Central Asia in attractive colors. The royalty had a unique use for it, since jade changed color when it came in contact with arsenic. They started utensils like plates, jars, bowls and even hookah with it, and thereby avoided getting poisoned by rivals.
The story we thought we knew. The story of magnificence. The story of bloody battles. Of those who ruled and those who left their footprints. The story charting the course of our past. Talking history on Rajya Sabha TV.
Pakistan once again violated ceasefire along the line of control. Pakistan targeted forward posts along the line of control in Poonch sector of Jammu and Kashmir. The Pakistani army resorted to heavy mortar shelling and firing automatic weapons. There have been no reports of any loss of life or injury so far. On Saturday as well, Pakistani forces had violated ceasefire, after which Indian troops had retaliating, damaging 3 posts and causing casualties to the Pakistani army. 2 Pakistani soldiers were learnt to have been killed in retaliation and several others were injured. Meanwhile, an Indian army jawan and his wife were killed and 4 persons were injured when the Pakistani army violated ceasefire by shelling and firing at forward posts and hamlets along the line of control in Poonch sector. Now, Pakistan has released 78 Indian fishermen held for trespassing into its territorial waters. The fishermen were released from Karachi's Landhi jail. The freed fishermen are expected to cross over into India today. Now, Pakistan has said that the 298 Indian fishermen are still imprisoned and will be released on the completion of the verification of their nationalities by India. Indian and Pakistani fishermen are frequently detained for illegal fishing since the Arabian Sea border is not clearly defined and many boats lack the technology to fix their precise location. News from Haryana and the state's main opposition, the INLD or the Indian National Lok Dal, is set to intensify its protests over the Satluj-Yamuna link canal issue today. In view of the protests, the police in Punjab and Haryana have announced traffic diversions on major routes. 4 companies of paramilitary forces have reached Haryana. 1,000 Punjab police personnel have been deployed to maintain law and order. Now, in the wake of the protests, Punjab's state-owned transport undertakings, PRTC and Punjab Roadways have decided not to ply their Haryana and Delhi-bound buses. Now, Haryana Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar has accused INLD of doing politics on the SYL issue. The INLD has accused the Chief Minister of maintaining a stoic silence over the river water issue. And now a look at the events that are lined up for the day in the day ahead. Deputy Prime Minister of Yemen, Abdul Malik Abdul Jalil Al-Meklafi, will arrive in India today on a 4-day visit. A range of issues, including enhancing bilateral ties and safety of Indians living in Yemen, are likely to be discussed. Al-Meklafi, who is also Yemen's foreign minister, will hold talks with External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj on Tuesday. The United States, India and Japan gear up for the annual Malabar series of naval drills in the Indian Ocean today. The 10-day drills in the Bay of Bengal include warships from Japan, the US and India, which has deployed its largest ever fleet. The warships began arriving in the country on Friday. Amid the tense political atmosphere in Bihar, RJD Chief Lalu Prasad has called a meeting of his party's legislatures today. The meeting is to discuss raids last week on his home and other properties after both he and his son Tejasvi Yadav were accused of corruption by the CBI. On to our top international focus. Iraqi Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi is in Mosul to celebrate the victory of his forces against the Islamic State in the city. Now, Haider al-Abadi said that the battle was settled and the remaining pockets of IS were encircled in the last inches of the city. The Prime Minister said that Iraqi military is fighting to free civilians whom Islamic State is using as human shields in approximately 50 to 100 houses. Earlier on Sunday, Abadi walked through streets in Mosul as crowds cheered him. He congratulated the armed forces and Iraqi people in achieving victory. However, he is yet to give a formal speech declaring triumph. Now, Iraqi forces backed by US-led airstrikes have been battling to retake Mosul since 17th of October last year. The terror group seized Mosul in June 2014 before taking much of Iraq's Sunni Arab heartland and proclaiming a caliphate straddling Iraq and Syria.
صراحة مجيئي اليوم إلى الموصل هو لمتابعة الانتصارات والقضاء على داعش في اللحظات الأخيرة إن شاء الله. نحن في اللحظات الأخيرة الدواعش حصروا أنفسهم، احنا خيرناهم بالسابق.
On to news from Pakistan, where the joint investigation team probing Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif's family's offshore assets presents its final report to the country's Supreme Court today. Now, remember, the Supreme Court there had constituted a JIT on the 20th of April this year and had empowered it to summon the Prime Minister or any other person necessary to investigate the allegations of money laundering. However, Sharif's party, MLN, on Saturday threatened to reject the findings of the JIT probe, saying that the former Qatari Prime Minister's version was not made part of the probe. The party says that the two letters written to the Supreme Court have revealed that the father of Nawaz Sharif had invested money in real estate business of the Qatar royal family and that the same money was used to buy properties in London. Meanwhile, Pakistan's opposition Tehreek-e-Insaf chairman Imran Khan has advised the masses to be ready. He said it was a war for the future of the country. He also demanded that the top court should ask the Prime Minister to step down. The current crisis started after the Panama Papers showed that Sharif's children owned the London properties and managed them through offshore companies. And let's get you some more news from across the globe in World Wrap. Hundreds of thousands of people gathered in Istanbul at the end of a justice march against the government of Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Large numbers have joined the march since it began in Ankara on 15th of June. Opposition and protest leader Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu criticized the wave of arrests and imprisonments that followed last year's failed coup. President Erdogan has accused the marchers of supporting terrorism. US President Donald Trump has said that it was a time to work constructively with Russia, saying that his counterpart Vladimir Putin had vehemently denied meddling in the 2016 election. Writing on Twitter, Trump said that he and Putin had talked about the idea of setting up a cyber security unit to prevent hacking in future elections. Putin and Trump earlier met on Friday on the sidelines of the G20 summit in Hamburg. Rescuers continued their search for victims of freak rains that have triggered floods and landslides in southwest Japan and left at least 18 people dead and hundreds of others displaced. About 1,900 policemen and soldiers using heavy machinery braved the rain and grappled with the debris of driftwood and mud that have cut off roads and clogged flooded homes. Authorities have, however, warned of more heavy rains and potential landslides. A ceasefire in Syria brokered by the US and Russia held through Sunday ahead of a new round of US-sponsored peace talks. Monitors reported no fighting in the three southern provinces covered by the truce as of nightfall on Sunday. The Syrian opposition spokesperson welcomed the ceasefire ahead of a seventh fresh round of peace talks aimed at finding a political solution to a war in which more than 4 lakh people have been killed. On to some news from the world of sports. And Indian tennis ace Sania Mirza and her Belgian partner Kirsten Flipkens will be in action in the women's doubles event at the Wimbledon today. The 13th seed Indo-Belgian pair will face 3rd seed pair of Martina Hingis and Chang Yun in the last 16 encounter. Now, Mirza Flipkens pair defeated British pair of Naomi Brody and Heather Watson in 3 sets in their second round match. India's Purav Raja will also be in action today in the mixed doubles event. Now, Raja and his Japanese partner Eri Huzumi will face 11th seed Andrea Klepak and Daniel Nestor in the second round. Meanwhile, in the men's singles, top seeds will be competing in the 4th round action today. World number 1 Andy Murray, Novak Djokovic, Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer all will look to advance into the quarterfinals with a win. While women's singles will see top seeds Angelique Kerber, Simona Halep, Elina Svitolina and others in action in the round of 16. An Indian women hockey team will take on US in their second Pool B game of the World Hockey League semi-final in South Africa today. Now, India began their campaign with a goalless draw against hosts South Africa on Saturday. Goalkeeper Savitha was the star performer for India as she denied hosts a goal with some brilliant saves. Now, South Africa made 8 unsuccessful attempts with 1 goal, with the 34 circle penetrations, while India had 15 circle penetrations, 3 shots on goal. Now, South Africa did score a field goal in the third quarter, but it was denied after video referral showed that it was coming off the back of the stick. And it was a grand double for India's distance runner G. Lakshmanan as he won the 10,000 meters on the final day of the Asian Athletics Championships at the Kalinga Stadium on Sunday. Now, India won as many as 5 gold medals on the last day to take their tally to 12 gold. Now, Lakshmanan also edged his name in the record books by becoming the first Indian runner to win gold in both 5,000 meters and 10,000 meters event. Now, Neeraj Chopra in men's javelin, Govindan Lakshmanan in men's 10,000 meters and Swapna Burman in women's heptathlon along with the men's and women's teams in the 4x400 meter relays won gold medals in their respective events. Now, they took the top spot in the medal standings with the 12 gold, 5 silver and 12 bronze. India thus finished with a total of 29 medals. And on to cricket now. West Indies defeated India by 9 wickets in the one-off T20 at Jamaica on Sunday. Now, set to score 191 runs for a win, the hosts overhauled the target in 18.3 overs with the loss of just 1 wicket. West Indies opener Evan Lewis powered the home side to victory with an unbeaten 125. Earlier put into bat first, India made 190 for 6 in this stipulated 20 overs. Dinesh Karthik was the top scorer with 48, while skipper Virat Kohli made 39 runs. And the 16-member Indian cricket squad for the 3-test series against Sri Lanka was announced on Sunday. Now, Indian opener Rohit Sharma was named in the squad along with all-rounder Hardik Pandya. Now, Sharma, who missed the home test season due to an injury, will replace Karun Nair, who scored a triple century against England in December last year. Off-spinner Jayant Yadav was also axed from the squad, but bowler Kuldeep Yadav managed to retain his place as the third spinner. Virat Kohli will lead the side against Sri Lanka for the 3 tests, 5 ODIs and 1 T20 international. The 3-match test series will begin from 26th of July. That's all in this edition of news, but news and updates continue on Rajya Sabha television. Thanks so much for your time.